What up, y'all? Welcome to Deep Brown Hour. I'm your host, Dewan Brown. Thank you for joining me in the chat room on Facebook Live. Type something, let me know you here. I didn't even know the fuck we was online. I just looked up and saw myself like, God damn, I see my big ass head, and I ain't saying nothing. So what up, y'all, man? Thank y'all for being on time. I'm late. Oh shit, let me turn the sound down on this thing too. People calling, I got the sound up on this shit. I'm late. My guest is late, but it's all gonna be great. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Again, like I said, I'm your host, Dewan Brown, and it's a lot of things that's been going on that I want to talk to y'all about. So feel free to join us live in the chat room. Say something. Hold on. Let me see if the chat room is even working in my on my shit, because the last time I was telling y'all to type something in the chat room, I'm telling y'all to type. I ain't seeing nothing. And then I get home, I see 47 messages of people typing. So, hold on, okay, cool, yeah, all right. We got it up. We got it going up in here now. We're going to have our guest coming in a little bit later on, Mr. Geoff Brown, one of my favorite comics in the world. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get started. It's been a lot going on, man. This Democratic debate going on. They talking about a whole bunch of nothing. Actually, I'm going to wait till my guests get in before we even get into that Democratic debate, because it's a few things I want to peel through when it comes to that. I'm going to start off the show from the back, bring it to the front. Let's talk about our black hero, African American history for today. Today, our hero is one of the major architects that designed LA. His name is Mr. Paul Revere Williams. I want y'all to look him up. He's designed more than 3,000 structures here in this city, really throughout California. Oh yeah, clap it up there. Give me another hand clap for Paul Williams. When y'all fly into LA, you know that big ass structure you see when you're going into LAX, with the arches and all that stuff. That brother designed that. He designed the courthouse. He designed the Golden State Mutual building over on Adams and Western. And he was like the lead designer that like a lot of Hollywood celebrities called to design their homes. So a lot of those homes you see up in Los Feliz, Beverly Hills, was designed by this brother, Mr. Paul Williams. So I want y'all to clap it up one time for this man, American Black History legend, Mr. Paul Williams. That motherfucker built 2,000 homes in L.A. So, because like people always talk about, what have we done? We just want to highlight, a lot of the positives, a lot of the things that we have done right, a lot of things that we do great as people here in America, as black people, because a lot of this stuff isn't highlighted. We be having to wait till Black History Month to say something positive. Hell no, I ain't waiting till a 28-day month to say something positive about my people. We gonna say something every episode. And then I also wanted to bring, because this is the person from last week that did not have time to bring up because we was running our mouth the whole time and we ended up not even getting to this person. So I'm glad I brought this up. Mr. Juan Garrido. Juangarrido. Why do I bring him up? He was an African from that lived in Mexico who brought wheat to California. Clap it up, Mr. Man, with the sound. Give me some sound effects for the man bringing wheat. I should be happier, but I don't eat that much wheat, man. I should eat more wheat, goddamn. I be eating that white bread hard. Geoff Brown will come in here. He gonna be like, you know what? You should get off all animal products. He be on me when it come to that shit. But hey, nah. I fucks with it. We got so man, what else we got going on? Let's get into talking about what's going on the Breakfast Club. On the Breakfast Club, I don't know if y'all listen to this shit, but yesterday, Malik Yoba was on the Breakfast Club, and he brought some trans dude. Did you see this? He brought on the Breakfast Club. He brought some people, and he was basically saying, "Look, I love all women, and I think we need to open up the definition of what straight is." Hold on, homie. Straight is straight. A line is a line. The minute a line does anything other than go straight, it's no longer a line. It's no longer straight. You can't expand the definition of straight to include rhombuses and triangles and trapezoids. Do we got somebody at the door? I'm looking at the camera right there. We got who there? I think that's our guest. Oh, this dude. Huh? Wait. Okay, well tell Jeff to come. Can someone go get him real quick? I'm looking at the security camera on here, and our guest has traveled all through this motherfucker except the studio. There he is. Yeah, you went. I'm looking at you on the camera right here, like, hey, what the hell going on? Nah, man. Right now, I'm talking about Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the building, Mr. Geoff Brown in the house. What's up, man?
Act like we ain't
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's my mic. Okay.
That's your mic right there. Cool. You can use the headphones. You cannot use the headphones. We don't have anybody on the phone right now.
Well, you do know.
Oh yeah. You do. You work on the radio yourself. So he said, nah. I'm using these professional headphones that I got from the DL Hughley show. You know what I mean? Anyone. Just whatever one you use, that's the one you use for your volume.
Right.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir.
Welcome in to the D Brown Hour from the DL Hughley show. And somebody who I have been a comedy fan of for a long time.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Geoff Brown.
How
Geoff
you,
Brown.
man?
Geoff Brown. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Well, anyway, we was talking about. I got in talking about this dude Malik Yoba.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we talked about him a little bit last week, but he was on the Breakfast Club this morning or yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning, yeah.
And he said we need to expand the definition of straight.
Oh, okay.
My question is, can you expand on something that's already clear?
Is there a need? It's like new math. It's like you have you seen what they're teaching kids how to how to add 55 plus 45? Apparently, there's something wrong with putting one number over the other, carrying the one. That we don't do that anymore. We do this old, difficult, extra steps to get to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the whole thing with this cisgender. I don't need to tell. I'm a straight dude. I like women that were women in the 4th grade. That's my shit. If he needs to expand his definition, if people like him need to expand their definition, you can call a 68 Mercury a peanut butter sandwich. I don't give a fuck. But don't make it where I ain't shit because I don't look at it how you look at it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's how I see it.
Okay.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to make it, because they kept bringing up on the show homophobia in the black community. Mm-hmm. The black community don't understand this, and black men don't understand that. Here's the whole thing that I think that people don't understand about black men. We don't give a fuck.
No, not at all.
We don't have. You can do. Look, we're not here to say you can't do what you can't do.
Sure.
You could do whatever it is you want to do. Just do it in the community where that exists. I am a jazz fan. I love jazz. Okay. I love jazz.
Right.
But I'm not going to go to a hip-hop bass convention talking about Art Monk.
Right. I don't go into McDonald's looking for the wine list. I don't do that. Where can I find you so I can look at the comments?
I'm on my Facebook Live. If you go to my Facebook page, matter of fact, let me tag you.
Yeah, let me make
We've
sure.
been having issues with the comments on and off on this thing, but hopefully we get this shit, because the last couple shows that I did, I couldn't see comments live, but when I was done with the show, I saw a shitload of comments. So hopefully we get some in there live today.
I believe we will.
Anyway, but back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
They were basically went on the Breakfast Club telling the world that a line is no longer straight. That a line is now a rhombus. That's their
right. That's what they're trying to tell you. And bruh, fine. What is happening is there is a force feeding of this new concept to my culture, and whether or not the people who are doing the force feeding realize it is immaterial to me.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening is, to me, the leaves. We're not looking at the seed.
Mm-hmm.
The leaves is be more accepting of homosexuality,
mm-hmm.
be more accepting of different family units.
Mm-hmm.
The seed is population control for survival, in my opinion. That's the seed. And what happens is the people out on the branches are
mm-hmm.
enjoying the branches so much
mm-hmm.
that they haven't taken a good look at the goddamn tree they on. So
I'm point.
I'm not, bruh. I really, literally, what you eat don't make me shit. I really don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care. You can vote. You can get married. I don't know why you would, but and we can cover that in a couple of minutes. You can get married. You can live together. You can adopt kids. You can do all of that. But don't make me pretend that you, first off, taking yam in the cornhole is my business from any place. That's not my business from any place.
Yeah, that's Dwight Howard business.
Right. Now, why I gotta be? Why do I have to be okay with it? That's my issue.
Because my thing is like, when that talks to me about a larger conversation of acceptance. Is it society's job to accept you, or is it your job to accept yourself and project that onto society?
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Because we all know you're a comedian, Geoff.
Sure.
You know the funny lies in the denial.
Right.
When someone comes out and says, "Yeah, I got a big ass gap tooth and I lift and talks like this," ain't no more jokes.
The jokes are gone.
The jokes are gone. But if they going around and they got a Michael Strahan, they're like the field goal between their teeth, and they sitting around talking about something. No, my teeth is straight.
Right.
All the jokes in the world open up to you, and they just come like a waterfall.
A big component, and I teach my children this, a big component of ridicule is the give a damn of the subject. That's a big component. A big component of ridicule is how much you give a damn.
Yeah.
Once people figure out you don't give a damn, it gets old.
Yeah.
That's a great way to decrease the shelf life on being humiliated. Is to not give a fuck.
Because when you have fucks to give, that way down your pockets.
Bruh, that's what they coming for, your fucks, bruh. They coming for your fucks. For me, if you want society to accept you, then on some level you have to accept society.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest issues are trying to poke. How you doing, sister? Trying to poke gay in where it don't belong. Like, this is what stopped me from watching How to Get Away with Murder.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, I was all over that show. Shout out to Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
I am a fan of yours with asterisks. I'm a fan with asterisks.
I'm with you right there. I'm with you. I feel you.
I was all over, I was over the fact that there was an interracial marriage here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over that.
Whatever. Cool.
Okay? I'm all over the female lawyer professor putting these kids through the paces.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all over the murder. I'm trying to figure out who put the girl in the water tank. I'm trying to figure out, is the husband guilty? And in the middle of that, out of nowhere, some dude pins another one up against the refrigerator and starts Frenching them. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with the plot? Okay?
I think I saw that. I walked in on that with my wife one time when she was watching that shit, and I walked in on that. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what does that have to do with the plot? Now, what I'm saying is for dudes like me, dear Shonda, and writers out there like you, for archaic, old school niggas like me, if we are at all on your radar or your demographic, we are going to need a TVM gay. I need a little TVM gay. 3 seconds before some gay dude
pop up.
Just have a little pair of pink clogs run across the street, and I'll go get a beer. I'll go get a beer right then. That can happen.
That's a great idea.
A TVM gay. Is there a problem with that? Because I don't want to see it.
I'm like that, and that's how, like, sometimes I walk in with my wife when she used to watch Empire, And it would just be this long, drawn out man kissing scene.
Right.
Like, what are y'all doing? Like, they don't even like. When I was a kid, my whole life growing up before the internet. People don't know I was before the internet.
Sure. They don't
I
even
would
know
have to
life was
wait until after 11 o'clock on HBO, and never on Sunday night.
Right.
But on Friday and Saturday night, you have to wait till about 11:30, and then you get to HBO 2.
The soft porn, yeah.
And then you had to wait all day to see one titty.
For a titty.
I wanted to see a titty.
Oh, man.
And I couldn't see titties until after 11 o'clock on a Saturday.
I'm going to take you a little further, bro. Remember the soft porn Showtime and HBO used to have where they would never show you anything below the waist. You could see the man's chest and the woman's titties. and you see the man, he might as well be moving a table. Because you can't see. It don't look like you fucking.
And she just.
That's all you can see.
Yeah.
And then we had On TV. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember. I was real young, but I remember hearing it.
Yeah, there was just on. It was subscription TV. And it was on. You could turn your TV to the channel, but it had a scrambler.
Yeah.
My TV was kind of fucked up in a certain way. I had an old black and white television that for 30 or 40 seconds, for some reason, it would decode the scramble.
Okay.
So every now and then, I could catch some honest to God fucking. But for the most part, I just saw the squiggle go like this.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me. Somebody's fucking something.
Before cable, we had Select TV.
Yeah.
Well, my dad had that. But you know what I mean? But that was back when my bedtime was too early. I couldn't even. My bedtime was 2 hours before the porn came on.
Right
there.
That was by design.
Yeah, that was by design.
Back when TV went off.
So we had to struggle for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had to get somebody who was older to go to the gas station to buy that magazine.
Brother, let me tell you.
Or at least get the hookup and hope they won't tell our mama.
Man, this is my issue with young boys now. I have a daughter who will be 16 next month. Mm-hmm. And my issue is just that with young boys. It's not the bad ones. It's the good ones I have an issue with, and here's what I mean. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that magazine, do you know how precious it was to see a naked woman for me at 16?
Oh, man. That was a man.
Now,
man.
You want to see a nun fuck a goat? It's right here. So... it's not the good boy that's coming to my door to see my daughter. It's the bad boys he's around that go, did you see this shit? You know, Geoff Brown's daughter got these same parts. I was not exposed. It wasn't in the ether like it is now. My kids live a dual hell because when they with their mama and in society, they're allowed to get into conversations. They're a little more flippant with her. Mm-hmm. Nigga, my house is 1970. Okay? It's gonna be some respect in here.
Yeah.
And if I whoop your ass and you call the cops, you're gonna need a U-Haul because you're gonna take the rest of your shit when you go with them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be hostage in my house to anybody's values but mine and my wife.
Yeah.
Period.
But that's the thing. So we live in a different world where everything you want and need is at your fingertips. Gay people now and trans people can watch whole ass porn scenes on Fox 11 at 9 o'clock at night.
Sure.
And you trying to tell us the world isn't accepting? The world is open to you,
brother.
Now, if you don't feel accepted now, then you don't accept yourself.
Well, you know what? 2 words. Dear LGBTQ community, by the way, you niggas got the rainbow and all the good Scrabble letters. You try to play Scrabble.
And y'all stole a rainbow from the Black Panthers.
Now,
go ahead.
Dear gay people, especially men, 2 words, old sissies. You need to talk to some of your uncles or your Uncle Sharon. You need to talk to him about being gay in the 70s, gay in the 60s. If you don't have the courage to be gay now, then gay people should have an issue with you.
Yes.
If you can't be gay and out now, it's not about society.
It's about you.
That's about you.
It's about you.
This is the best time. I don't remember the best time to be black. I remember the best time to be gay. I'm living in it.
Say it.
I've had this conversation with, and this is with gay friends of mine, and especially the lesbian community, because black lesbians tend to lean toward the feminist movement. And I was talking to a very good friend of mine. I said, okay, you are an out gay lesbian, and you a sister. You go to a rally in Austin, Texas. It's 10,000 gay people there. 9,999 of them are white, and it's you. There's some crazy ass trumpet in a bell tower with a rifle. When he shoots first, who do you think it's gonna be? And when he shoots at you, is he shooting at you because you're black first or because you're gay first? Black people are the only people I know of that put every other title before black.
And that's why we keep losing.
Every title, whatever they do, if they're a coach, if they're a CEO, if they're a father, whatever they do, black is not first.
Yeah.
And I really think that this is where black gay people are dropping the ball. They're dropping the ball in a place that female white Trump supporters didn't. They talked all this shit in the world and then went and voted for him. Why? Because they knew they were white first. When you, white women, you say white first.
Yes.
And they handle that first word. And
they know that at the end of the day, race trumps sex. At the end of the day, sexual behavior is sexual behavior. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The world has never judged people on sexual behavior. They said they judge you on your color.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when it comes down to it, they know, and this is not to disparage them. It's just for them to. This is pointing out they understand where their butter is bred. You know what I mean?
Buttered, yeah.
The bread is buttered. How the hell you said? We were talking about wheat earlier.
You know what? Wait a minute. Stop that. I had a little bit, but we're going to chief out some more.
Okay.
My wife is watching. Hey, baby, I'm going to Dion's studio after this. I'll call you in. That's a lot of the problem right now. Is that it's not that your bread is buttered. It's that your butter has been breaded. Think about this. Your butter, bread, or at least it used to, mold. If you taking slices of butter and leaving bread behind, that bread ages in that butter. And when I come along, I'm not just spreading butter. I'm spreading a little mold. I'm spreading a little bullshit that you left behind.
Yeah.
And what happens is people don't expect their butter before they pour it on before they spread it on their bread to see if your butter has been breaded. This butter has been breaded.
Yeah. That's high times with Geoff Brown. I like that.
Tell you something, bro. You're not gonna get there. You can't get to that kind of thoughts without weed.
You're not gonna get there. You're not gonna get there. You're listening to D Brown Hour, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes. We have a bunch of different goddamn platforms at once, so it's really hard to aggregate everybody in one place because we all over the place. I want to thank y'all for listening in and add my new D Brown YouTube channel. I just got that up and popping, so I'm starting to put archives up on that channel right now.
Excellent.
And so that's all we're trying to say is my message, because I don't have any issues with my trans brothers, gay brothers, LG, whatever. Man, ain't no issues with y'all, man. We need everybody. But at the end of the day, y'all need to learn to accept yourself. And that's just a bigger story for society in general.
Sure.
You know, when you accept yourself, people accept you.
Right.
Period. If your car broken down and you get to pushing your car, somebody will help you.
Right.
But if you just sitting in that car crying, people going to drive by like, what that nigga problem?
I'm going to tell you what I think, and I could be way off. I'm no psychology major. But I think one of the obvious markers to a battle with self-acceptance is when, as a man, you are more feminine and flamboyant than my wife.
Yeah.
That's not that you are really.
Women
my wife does not leave the house and click on a neon sign that says I'm a woman.
Women don't do all them extras.
We don't do all that extra shit.
They don't do that.
That's you and your extra wrestling going on there.
Wrestling.
We watching you. Yeah, we watching some
wrestling.
We watching some soul wrestling.
Yeah, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into what we want to talk about a little bit today. it was some things I was observing out there.
Yeah.
And I have a question. Can you, just because it's going to be a couple questions. First question is, when dealing with people of the opposite race,
sure,
do you notice that we tend to just assume the world about them just because they come around black folks?
Yeah.
And what does that what does that do to us as a people? What does that mean? What does that mean about us? To where here, let me get straight to the point. As a comic, you know there are funny comics, there are unfunny comics, and I'm not here to
sure.
But for a white comic to come to a black room, if he shows that he knows anything about black society, he got the room for the whole night.
Oh, you love me. You really love me. Yeah.
If he can come around and say and do one dance,
one thing that identified, it's almost like black people are sitting there saying, "Oh, please show me what of my culture have you studied to appropriate? What part of my what part of my culture did you deem suitable enough to put into your into your lexicon?"
And I'm bringing this up because you see this to how like you know how other cultures use our culture for the come up.
Oh my God!
We talked about UPN network. How they
you pick a nigga.
The WB.
Yes.
Fox. Let's remember
Hyundai. Kia.
Let's remember how Fox was built. Fox was built on Married with Children. Do you know a black person created Married with Children?
Michael Moyer.
Yes. Did you? Then after that, their highest rated shows was Martin, Living Single, and Living Color. And they built a network off our shit. And then the minute they got some ratings, boom, all you niggas is gone.
You're gone.
When was the last good show Fox had? Can't think of it, can you? NBC, when they were going under, well, who did they call?
Cosby.
Bill Cosby. Then when he left, who else they get? Fresh Prince.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That Friends was nothing but a white version of Living Single.
I think the humanitarian of the 20th Century Award goes to Queen Latifah for not losing her shit when Friends was straight up stolen from Living Single.
Man. Straight up ripoff.
Fucking stolen.
Same city, same makeup.
Right.
And Friends is touted as this highly genius show. At the same time, Living Single was the highest rated show in its slot and got canceled mid-season.
No, it got canceled before they got to 100. The magic number in network television, sitcom episodic, is 100. At that point, you reach syndication.
Yes.
And that's where the money gets goofy for all involved.
And then they said nah.
They said no.
So we keep seeing this, and there was a comic that I saw recently has a whole. He's frequented black clubs, made his name in black audiences.
Sure.
Now he's on a Blue Lives Matter comedy tour.
Sure. I think you should have him on the show, but that's.
I would. I
think
would.
you should.
But my problem is this: you got your chops with us, and now you making it.
So you're using the Fox formula.
The Fox formula. So as a people, how often are we going to allow people to do this shit to us?
We are going to do this until our culture becomes again precious to us. Our culture is not precious to us. Yeah. We look at our culture as a subculture, less than.
Good.
I'm the only nigga in the neighborhood. How like somehow
I'm the first to move over here.
Right.
I'm the first.
So how like somehow the comeuppance is anywhere other than in the mind, and that's what we have been taught, is that your comeuppance is everywhere outside of you. It's not in you at all, and until the comeuppance makes it back inside, we're gonna have this problem.
Well, you just broke it all the way down right there, sir.
That's why I'm here.
Because you're right. You're right.
I live in Pasadena. It's a long drive.
You're not gonna. That's something like you can't get others to value something that. I mean, others can value it, but they're gonna take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they see the value.
I don't get mad when I see them other people doing taking our stuff per se. because oftentimes we don't cherish it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I look at how I was growing up in the 80s and 90s. We were all taught, and when I look back, I don't look back on what previous generations did as a damnation. I look back at what they did wrong, so my generation and future generations can correct it.
Absolutely.
And so I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying as if me just judging. You know what I mean? We had what we had. Now it's time to learn from it and move on.
Right.
Back in the 80s, we was taught, y'all that hip hop, all y'all do is all that dancing in the hip hop, wearing those sneakers and those Jordans. You need to put on some dress shoes, and you need to pull your pants up. When I look around now, I see nothing. All these boutique stores, hip hop clothing. Do we own any of them?
None.
I did an Uber drop off last week. This white dude, he was cool as hell. Picked him up from a big ass house in Palos Verdes, and I was dropping him off at his store in the San Pedro area, and it was a shoe boutique, sneakers, custom sneakers. Shit. But our generation was raised, no, fuck that. What y'all into ain't good enough. Conform to what the people who enslaved your ancestors say is right. And then they kids saw us doing that. I take it to this documentary I saw. Look, it was a documentary ESPN did on the Raiders. Y'all can look it up. And on that documentary, they were talking about how like NFL revenue for like jerseys and football attire was like a few $1 million a year. It wasn't really much. The minute NWA put that Raiders hat on and that jacket, it went from a few $1 million a year to multi-billion because of what our kids did.
Because black people have always been the purveyors of cool.
And since we know that, why do we tell our kids to reject it or to conform to?
Because black people, to me, have spent so much time in hell. Every time we go out, they shoot.
Oh.
And they ain't just us. Yeah. Okay, you go to work, they shooting. Because the dude under you, there's a white boy that's
you're training,
that you training. You may be training to take your job. When you get on the elevator, they shooting. Because this white woman who don't have half your money is clutching her purse like you want that fucking peppermint with the hair on it that's in the bottom.
Okay.
So I say this about the concept of capitulation. Imagine success, because that's what success is for us. Hey man, you're not living check to check no more.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about nobody breaking in your house. Coincidentally, because of the lack that I created for them, but you don't have to worry about them breaking in your house. I tell you what, in order to get to this place, you see this paper? On paper, I'm gonna rape you. And what we say is, you know what? I'll let you rape me if you just let me lay down. I'm tired.
Ooh.
I will lay in this bed I will let you rape me if you let me lay down.
On my stomach.
Oh, yeah. However you want it, dude. That's all this is this concept that black people are constantly under siege. And when you are under siege and under duress, you make crazy decisions.
That's true.
We have been turned into zombies. That's why first off, the term nigga should never be derogatory again once you figure out where it comes from.
Yeah.
I don't call black people who do fucked up shit niggas. I call them zombies. They are the walking dead. They are walking around and they are dead from the neck up. And God bless them, reach as many as we can. But I'm not in the zombie business.
Yeah.
I look for niggas, kings, queens, people whose eyes are open. Niggas. Yes.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because we do have the power to redefine.
Sure.
And when you hold on to someone else's definition of a word that they didn't even create,
thank you,
that means you're giving them power. Power is in naming things and labeling things. That's what the power is.
Sure.
You take what it is and you label it. But back to what we were talking about again, as far as like our children. I had a solution I wanted to propose to this because I like talking solutions before we get into our final topic. What we talk about.
Right.
And my solution to this is, look, I just see it because I work with children. I've been working with children forever. Our children are literal gold mines.
And thank you for that. But okay.
They are gold mines.
Sure.
When you look at your child, you're looking at the brain of the same people who invented the air conditioner, the people who invented the car, the McCoy brothers. I'm sorry, the DeRay brothers. You're talking to the people who helped build, who really are responsible for building a whole nation. And we sometimes reduce them to football. We sometimes reduce them to just a rapper or just a few things, worse than that, we reduce them to just employees of somebody else.
What if you hung time travel from a tree?
I would look. You know what? I don't even want to time travel back. You know why?
What if the cure for cancer? Well, actually, the cure for cancer is to leave animal protein alone and make your body a hostile environment.
I told them you were going to say that when you were walking in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the cure for cancer.
That is because Dr. CB proved it. Yeah. I still be eating my goddamn pork ribs though. You know what? I like them motherfuckers too. Okay. So but at the same time,
Dewan Brown, the whole reason that I'm on this show is to say this right here. This is how the creator gets down.
Yes.
The whole reason we've been dancing around me getting over here because I'm too busy as a one-legged man in a fucking kick fight. I'm doing so much shit. Is for me to tell you this. You can eat and literally again, what you eat does not make me shit. You can eat a homeless man asshole first. I don't really care.
That's his fuck.
But when, not if, these words make it into your lexicon. Stages 1 through 4. Metastasize, bypass, insulin, dialysis. When these words make it into your lexicon, just don't act like your name was on some evil wheel of fate the devil spun and threw a fucking dart and hit. You did it to you. And as long as you can own that, bone up a goddamn teeth. Eat what you want. Don't have the mothers of the church around your bed trying to hold the boko shy your ass back out of it. You did this to you. The devil didn't have shit to do with it. It was your choice. You sat down and you blessed food that if you read that book, tells you not to eat. So if you gonna do that, do it. I used to do it. I don't tell people what not to do. I tell people what not to do when they get sick.
I hear that. I'm gonna have that conversation the next time I have a fat burger with my 95-year-old grandfather.
Yum.
He's been eating them ribs forever. Yes. That motherfucker's still pumping.
Question number 1: are the ribs your grandfather ate when he was your age the same ribs you eating?
We eat the same ribs now.
Oh, you think so? So you think that if I took
I barbecue the ribs for him.
Sure. So if
take him over his house.
Fine. So if I took a pig, from 1960 and put it right next to a pig from 2019, you are telling me that the filth is the same.
No, I'm saying I wasn't born in 1960.
Exactly, but your
I said, but we're eating the same thing now.
No, you're not. You're not, brother. You're not. Okay.
Your body regenerates every 6 years, so he's been eating the same thing for me as me for 6 years.
Okay.
We eating the same shit.
Do you know why you bring him up?
Why?
Because he is the exception and not the rule. And whenever you bring up an exception in an argument, you prove the other dude's point.
No, I only brought him up because I got to take care of him.
Nigga, he's 90. You brought him up because he's 90.
Because I see him twice a week.
Exactly. And he's, how many other people do you see twice a week that aren't 90? You brought him up because he's old and he eats meat, which justifies you eating meat.
Yeah, everybody my friend got old and ate meat. But I think I hear what you're saying. I hear a lot of people saying. I think it's bigger than that. But I'll get into that. I want that to be its own show.
Okay.
I have my own ideas when it comes to that. Okay. I want to get back talking these solutions I was talking about a little bit earlier.
Okay. I need 10 seconds.
Go ahead.
This is why I dig talking to you. Most dudes, when I disagree, I just lop their head off and walk the fuck away. You, ching, 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 ching. So go ahead.
I'm just gonna say one last thing as to why I be somewhat resistant because I know that I'm personally just a different kind of cat. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I was a person that they would always say, if you go right and you eat right and you work out, you're gonna be in shape. Do you know, and I have people who can attest to this in the chat room, that I was playing basketball 6 days a week, 3 hours a day, 350 pounds, and did it for 10 plus years.
Okay.
I've always been the kind of person that's been big, and I will dunk on you.
Sure. Now,
I mean, I would have people 1/3 my size try to run with me. Try to spend the full day with me and keep up with my schedule.
So what
with my meat eating ass.
So what you're telling
So I've always been the kind of person that now at the same time I don't like most fat people because most fat people are very listless. I understand what you're saying. They breathe loud. They tired all the goddamn time. They waddle when they walk. I ain't that nigga.
How can you snore while you're awake?
Exactly.
No, what you basically just told me is the same thing as Superman saying I can still whoop your ass with kryptonite in my book bag. Mm-hmm. That's so the point you're making is that despite what you feed yourself, you're a god. You don't have to make that point to me. I know that. My question is, if someone were to put you during these 10 years on a plant-based whole foods diet that fed your body the nutrients it was supposed to have, how much further, how much longer, how much clearer, how much more spiritual, and how much more grounded would your earthwork be from that place?
My post game would have been whack because I like using my size on your niggas when I got in that box. Boom! And I would hit them with a nigga. Man, you know how good it feel to be fat and quick? Nigga,
that's
when you're running down the court and you see people looking like they come to guard you like I'm guard the big dude because they thinking they're about to have a
slow down on the other side. Yeah,
you talk to anybody that hoop with me, I will hoop 6 hours a day on 350 on your ass, and I'm running. I didn't walk down the court. I jogged and ran because I'm a Magic Johnson fan. I love to run.
Right.
Like I love the lung burn feeling. I love that shit.
Right.
But I do it at a high rate. And I do shit skinny niggas can't do. That's why I've always been resistant to it. But I'm more open now because I am getting older, and I'm just an open-minded person now.
Sure.
Period.
Sure.
So I'm always open to listen. But goddamn it, I want to get back to the solution before we get to this final topic.
Okay, go ahead.
The solution I think for parents is this: listen to your children and invest in. Don't stand in front of them and tell them because you only know 20 years ago. Your child instinctively knows 20 years from now.
Damn.
So it's your job to stand next to them and behind them and see which direction they're in, and whatever direction they're going in, you get ahead of it and get some clarity to help usher them through that. Versus tell them where to go. Because if we just did that one family by family and turned our children in, because your children going to give you the business.
Right.
Listen.
Right.
I know one mistake, and I love my parents. We talked about this. I don't like going back on things and saying, you were wrong for that because things, you never know what could have happened if they did what you told them to do. But I'll never forget 96. I was 15 years old, and I told my parents, invest in Apple, invest in Cisco system. At the time, Apple was $6.58 a share.
Damn.
I knew it.
Damn. You could have spent $100 a month.
Do you know how rich we'd be right now if we put $1,000 in Apple in 1996 and let it ride?
Stankin'.
But that was my instinctual, because I knew what they were doing. I knew IBM and Windows 95 was a bigger program, yada, yada, yada. But I saw what Apple was doing was going to be past that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a child thing. And I see children do this with their parents all the time, and the parents don't listen. So parents, listen to your children, usher them, guide them, and lead them. That's my solution. And we can solve our own shit in 20 to 50 years.
Well, yes. And
because we'll control it.
That 20 to 50 years that you were thinking about was what Dr. King was thinking about, was what Brother Malcolm was thinking about, Brother Medgar. Black people do not, at this point, want to sacrifice a generation. The people that was marching back in the day, they knew that wasn't for them.
They knew it.
Guess who else know what ain't for them? These old billionaires still money grubbing. When you got a white man that's 81 years old fighting tooth and nail for money, do you think he's doing it for him? He's not. He's already rich.
He wants to pass it and to maintain. He wants his children to maintain the position that they're in.
He ain't finna fuck nobody else. He 81. Now, what I say is that black people have to don't make the mistake that my parents made. Instead of My parents didn't prepare me for my future.
Mm-hmm.
They prepared me for their past.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem.
You preparing you still, dear black people on the sound of my voice that need white people to say it before you believe it. White people are now saying that college is a waste of money and time.
Yes.
White people are saying it now. Do you believe it now?
When we were saying that shit a while ago.
Yeah. Oh, you niggas is lazy.
The angriest day of my life was the day I graduated college. I told the story before. I walked off the stage and kept walking to my car. I looked at my parents and signaled to them. Let's go.
Let's go.
Because I was like, man, I spent the 6 years. I did all this work. And that time I was working in mortgage, I was making a shitload of money in mortgage part-time. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, had I dedicated the energy to mortgage that I dedicated to this college shit, I'd have a lot of money. This is during that housing boom of 05, 06, during that boom. When I could make, at the time, if I made $20,000 in a month, I didn't blink. It was, okay, whatever. And that was part-time when I was in college. And I was thinking like, man, shit. If I wasn't in college, how much more could I have made?
Right.
And I was so goddamn mad. Now looking back, I'm glad I did because I ended up being in something that I'm using now, and that was for me. Mm-hmm. But I also stayed at home and paid cash my way through college too. So I don't know, fucking dead.
My man.
Where everybody else was going off, I'm going to go and stay in the dorm. I'm staying in the same bedroom I was raised in. Goddammit.
Sure.
And I had no debt when I
brother.
left.
I have, with regard to debt, you show me a car that requires a loan, and I'll show you exactly where they fucked you. I don't care. There is no such thing as a good deal on a motor vehicle that requires a loan. If it requires a loan, you're about to get fucked. If you lease it and write it off, that's one thing. But to buy a car is fucking foolish, and it makes no sense in California, Arizona, or Texas, or anywhere else in the 48 contiguous, because you can get Craigslist. Oh, I like this car in I live in frickin' Michigan, but here's a car in Moreno Valley. So I'm going to fly. I'm going to get in Ontario airport. I'm going to fly out here with my cash that I've saved, buy this car, ship it back. Bruh, you done cut so much bullshit out the game like that. I haven't had a car payment since 1988.
God damn.
I refuse. For what? For
shit.
what?
I had a car, but I got one now, goddammit. No. I got mine. I like the deal I got. Shit. No. I got a 0.9 from Honda Financial.
Sure. Now, if you want to see who that car belongs to, miss 3 payments.
Oh, trust me.
The car does not belong to you. The bank said, we're going to trust you to ride around in our asset while you pay us double.
And that's America in general, because I used to, my Tahoe, I had no payments on that. I owned that Tahoe outright. But if I got more, if I didn't pay my registration, if I got tickets and didn't pay them, that shit would have been gone too.
Sure.
So
but do you get a ticket?
In America, if you don't pay, either way, we really don't own shit.
Question.
You know where I got to my conclusion when it came to all ownership and all this stuff? I got that from after 10 years of working in mortgage.
Okay.
And I really got to see what ownership
really
was.
Right.
And I was thinking like, ownership is really, and I'm not here to judge either way, because I figure people got to do whatever is best for them. That's how I see it. I say you have different schools of thought. If it's your school of thought, stay in it. That's your school.
I can't say that.
That's what I can say, because like after doing mortgage for so long and seeing what the game for, I was like, damn, owning ain't nothing but renting with equity.
Thank you.
Still renting.
You're still basically renting. The only difference is instead of an eviction, you have a foreclosure on your credit. The mistake that people make with regard to owning a home is that you buy your first home and only you can live in it. That's the bullshit. Buying one door is the bullshit. Nobody tells you. My children have this information because I got it late. Nobody told me when I was little that it makes so much more sense to buy a 4-unit, live in one, charge rent for the other 3, and complain about the landlord like they do. That's how you build wealth.
That's true, but here's a roadblock to that. A 4-unit requires 40% down versus a single-family residence requires 5.
Oh well.
So access. So there's a lot of people who know. But then you have that door access. Can you qualify for it? Because when I used to do my loans, to get you a single family resident home, we can get you that. You talking about anything more than 2 doors? Now we got to talk. And when it comes to people of our color, most of the time, and against not because of their own no fault against them, they just don't have the money. But that's what happens when your job pays less. And
no. Bruh, no.
They just don't have the money to qualify for a 4-unit, a 6-unit.
All right.
They can qualify for one, though.
All right, here's a plan. Very simple plan. My wife put me up on this back in the day when she was studying for her real estate license. Mm-hmm. Here's the hustle that Asians do. Okay, there's a the test is 200 questions. Mm-hmm. So I get 20 people. You're gonna study questions 1 through 10, 11 through 20, and so on till we have all the questions. And every time you take this test, you're going to fail it until you can memorize your questions. Then we're all going to get back together, put the test together amongst us, and then tell everybody to go take this test so that we all have real estate licenses, so we can all start to work toward a common goal. And that's how the Vietnamese people wound up owning Garden Grove. It's really nobody got voted in. Nobody got discriminated against. They used the holes in the system. All niggas can figure out how to do is get 2 different welfare checks. No, you have to think outside of the box. Fine, I need 40% down. Well, 40% down is a big deal if it's only my 40%. Mm-hmm. What if I spread that out? Mm-hmm. This is what people who come here at a disadvantage do. Their advantage is numbers and togetherness. We got numbers. We don't have any togetherness.
And you know what? You know what I always say to go back at that?
Sure.
Because you have to understand cultures and societies. What do their children do? Their children are Americans like everybody else.
Okay.
Socialization is a bitch. Give me a child from 0 to 8, you can have them back the rest of your life. Mm. If I never trained you on that from that early on, you never... As a communal group, it'll be individuals who get it. There'll be people who figure it out, who go through a growth process and see what it is.
Sure.
But as a society, you won't get it because all you got to do, and all you have to do as evidence and as proof, look at the difference between first-gen immigrants and their children.
Right.
Their first-gen, they have that because that's all they got. They have that. They bring that from their cultures that they've been socialized in for hundreds of years
to here,
and it works. But their children,
when you send your kids off,
be like, fuck you, mom. Fuck you, dad. I'm getting my house, my Mercedes, my car. Why? Because that is the American way.
Sure.
And so when we talk about it, we got to talk about it from that holistic point of view. We don't do that because it's something wrong. It's just that's not how Americans get down. And that's not something, and the times that we have done that and gotten like that, for us, for them, they get to operate without their own government working against them. When we do that, like in live in action, people always want to talk about history back in the day. We can just talk about Nipsey now. You saw what he did in Scruncho, and we seeing like now since he's been dead, the LAPD admitting to saying, "Now we're trying to fuck his shit up."
Well, we always knew that.
So I'm saying that happens. So when for black people, for us, it's going to work different because the minute we start doing this, that 100,000% will get infiltrated.
Okay, so the answer is to suffer in silence. Or
no,
what is okay? If this is about solutions,
mm-hmm.
if in the solution is all they're going to do is, then why the fuck even do it?
That's not that. No, that all they're going to do is a caveat to that particular idea when it comes to us coming together on things.
Okay.
We have to do, like I said, like what Neely Fuller always talks about, an individual approach to what's going on because groups get compromised. Individually, you got to take whatever steps.
Groups get compromised, yeah.
You got to take whatever steps you can take individually, and as individuals build up and get their weight up, then we can start to come together and do that. That's what you're talking about. I like what you're saying, but to me, that's the second step.
Oh, sure. Okay.
That's the second step.
Sure.
The first step is getting your shit done, doing whatever way you can do it. Because if you do get that home by yourself with one door that you get in that 5%, and that the way equity is getting raised in major cities, in 10 years or in 5 years, now you have the equity, he has the equity, and she has the equity to pull out and put 40% down in that building through an LLC, through a company.
Sure.
But if you're talking about the first step, first of all, as a person, as an owner, I'm not gonna go in with somebody who's never owned anything. That just is not good approach to ownership. I want to see what you've done with your track record. And this isn't me talking. This is how the dominant society treat their own. I'm not going to go get Jethro in a trailer park and say, hey, come with me. What have you done? What is your credit rating? Because I can't, because I pay my bills on time.
Okay.
And if you don't have, I get to places on time. If you don't have that approach.
Here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
How is it then, if that's an issue, that I could even be in the running with you if I wasn't paying my bills on time?
That's the point. You already got y'all, so I know you in the running with me.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My question ain't you.
Right.
My question the ones that never had shit. But anyway, we got to end this because, God damn it, the time is coming up. I need 2 hours. I need to redo something.
You need 2 hours.
Yeah. Geoff, how can they find you? What's going on with you?
Weekly. Look for me on the DL Hughley Show from Tuesday to Thursday nights. Mondays, the Zoe What Morning Show. Wednesdays, Mansions with Zoe What. And look for very soon, before the end of the year, my comedy albums, music and comedy. It's called Incense and Hot Sauce.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I'm Dewan Brown. Follow me at Dewan B on Instagram, DWANNB. Dewan Brown on Facebook. And remember this. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. Remember that. We out.